Hello everybody and welcome to the GL homework review video for year 5. This is block 4 week 6 and our last session on English. So for each test you had 6 minutes to complete 12 questions. In each question, circle the letter below the word or group of words that most accurately completes the passage. For example, finding a replacement charger for her phone wasn't easy. So you have to select the most appropriate word, deciding why it fits best within that section, thinking about verb forms and sentence structure. So charge is the verb, for example. So finding a replacement charge for her phone wasn't easy. That won't make sense. We needed a noun to go into that sentence. So, test 16. Kim is a journalist who is known to be firm but fair in her reporting. Gregory congratulated Mike and Ian on their wonderful achievement. Constructing furniture out of wood is no mean feat. That means it's not easy. It's not something that's easy to do. That's a way of expressing that. It's no mean feat. We had been waiting for hours before the man finally arrived, and he lost his passport, so he will not be able to travel abroad. So is a conjunction here that links to main clauses. He lost his passport. He will not be able to travel abroad. So is a conjunction that links the two of them. Like the closed passages, it's about reading beyond the gap to establish what the sentence is saying, and then trying out different possibilities if you're not sure which form of the word is correct to choose. Moving on to number 6, the Arctic is one of the coldest places on Earth. This is one you might just have to learn. But we don't say most cold, we don't say more colder or most colder or even more coldest. Coldest is an infinite, it is the coldest. And it's one of the coldest places on Earth. Pick that up. You must not litter, said the teacher to the student. That's an imperative command. And again, it's the correct form of the verb. Picking would be a continuous action. Picked is past tense. Picker is a different thing entirely. It's a noun. And picks wouldn't make sense either. So just check to see which sounds right in the context of the sentence. Then we had, since the shop was closed, they were unable to purchase ice cream. The gathering takes place on the first Sunday of every month. Buster the dog eyed the chocolate cake hungrily. Sheena should have stopped at the red light, but she did not see it. Now this one is really important here to choose the correct verb form. This is often used and that does not make sense. What that is people misunderstanding this. Should have, which is a contraction of a should have. We often see should have and could have, but what they actually mean when that's written down is this contraction, should have, should have. So Sheena should have stopped at the red light, but she did not see it. The devout lady had dedicated her life to helping and serving others. Devout means very dedicated to a cause. And she had dedicated her life to helping and serving others. Okay, test 20. Exactly the same type of activity, completing the sentence in the best possible way. Rebecca could hear the dishwasher whirring in the kitchen. So it's a continuous action that was happening as she could hear it. Weren't there more than 2 pieces of meat in the fridge? Asked Betty. This is plural, that's why it's weren't, not wasn't. I want to exchange one of my playing cards for one of yours. Number 4, Bob had found the ideal way to escape whilst evading notice. So, whilst evading being seen. How do you feel about that? Asked the psychologist. So that's a present tense question. How do you feel? How are you feeling currently? Number 6, the delighted boy was informed that he could choose whichever toy he wanted. The quicker you finish your homework, the earlier you can go out and play. Mitch leant against the wall and flicked his fingers through his hair. The young father was determined to provide for his family. Okay, so number 7, for example, earlier is the only one that makes sense. The quicker you finish your homework, the sooner you can go out and play. It's the same meaning. The earlier you can go out and play. Now, number 8, lent. Be careful. So he was leaning against the wall, so it was past tense. He leant against the wall, but be careful of the spelling because option C, this means to lend someone something. I lent my brother £5, or I lent my friend my pencil. But lent with an A is to lean on something. Number 10, few of the remaining passengers were awake at the time. We will begin promptly, so please ensure you arrive on time. And if Derek did not manage to catch a train, he would have to walk home. And finally, test 24, 12 questions in 6 minutes. Number 1, although he couldn't put his finger on it, no one knew something was wrong. If I had known you would waste the money, I would not have given it to you. Number 3, they found him swinging from a tree branch that was about to snap. The sloth appeared to be resting, but it was quite difficult to tell. And Samantha immediately turned to her friends for help when she was in trouble. I think most of those are quite self-explanatory. She turned to her friends for help. There were many possible explanations for the bizarre set of circumstances, and this is a plural thing, so there were lots of possible explanations. If it was singular, there was one possible explanation. So it's the subject and verb agreement. Because it's plural, there were many possible explanations for the bizarre set of circumstances. The red fox was distinct from the others, not just in colour, but also in behaviour. So you could have a clue if you weren't sure on this one by looking at this part of the sentence where it says in. Veronica had swum from Dover to Calais, a most impressive achievement. And a herd of buffaloes descended down the hill in a crazed frenzy. Now, number 10, he oughtn't to have told you about that, conceded the fireman. This one you might have found quite tricky. That is a contraction of ought not. He ought not to have told you about that, conceded the fireman, which basically means he shouldn't have told you about that. It's quite an old-fashioned way of saying that, but that's what it means. He ought not, he oughtn't to have told you about that. He should not have, conceded the fireman. Number 11, the prisoner of war longed for his freedom, friends and family. And number 12, Betty thought that the piece of music was different from anything she had previously heard.